Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Well, today is Greta Thunberg's birthday, and it's also Mel Gibson's birthday, as well as a few other people that I've never heard of. So that's making the news today, and so is the New Year's honors list. You know, every year, our king, he gives a list of people who are to receive awards from the royal family. Now, this is very contentious. A lot of people who are given awards refuse to accept them because they don't believe in this idea of receiving rewards from royalty, especially those awards which date back to our empire. For example, one award that's often given is OBE, Order of the British Empire, and MBE, which I think is Member of the British Empire. I can't remember, but many people refuse those on principle. There's quite a few celebrities around that just didn't want them. The Beatles didn't accept them first time round. I think Paul McCartney accepted his eventually, but they were very against receiving these kind of awards from state. They're not actually from royalty. I mean, the government compiled the list, and it's agreed with the king who they're going to be. So it's not actually people who please the king. It's all part of the political game. But having said that, these awards, they are nominated by people locally. So, for example, if I like the work that someone does here, maybe a charity owner, then I can nominate that person to the local government, and then it travels up into the central government, and then they agree with the king. But it's not easy. I mean, you have to have done something spectacular to get one of these awards. Leona Lewis got one this year. I mean, she doesn't even live here, so I don't know. I don't quite know what the idea of that is. She lives in America, so it's clearly not related to your place. It's related to your citizenship, which again, many people might find quite contentious. Anyway, I was telling you that today is Greta Thunberg's birthday. It's also Mel Gibson's birthday today, as well as Tolkien, the man who wrote The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. So, all very annoying people. Greta Thunberg, when she was a little girl, she was very annoying. But I'm glad that she's all grown up now and she's able to have debates. And she's 20 today. Yeah, and she's still tweeting and getting the world stage. The Time magazine described her as the power of youth. But she's upset a lot of people as well, just because of the way that she speaks. I will never forgive you. We will not forgive you. No, never. I should be at school. I will not forgive you. So she she talks in a very annoying way, but her message is incredibly powerful. But she's a good example of why communication skills are important. A little bit of intonation wouldn't have killed her. Yeah, I would have liked her to, be a little bit more flowery with her communication skills. But then again, if she was very polite and very British sounding, probably people wouldn't have listened to her. So it all works out well in the end. And it's also Mel Gibson's birthday. I think he's 70 today. He's another one who's incredibly annoying sometimes, isn't he? He's been accused of all kinds of things. So He's another one who can be incredibly annoying at times. Anyway, let's move on because we want to talk about our our idioms and ways to describe really annoying people. So, for example, pain in the neck is someone who's very annoying or bothersome. So that's something you can describe to describe people who are around you. They're a real pain in the neck. So you wouldn't say that about a celebrity. You would say that about a colleague or a boss or someone you can't really get away from. I don't think I would describe an actor in that way. A phrase you can use as well is to rub salt in the wound, which is when someone makes a difficult situation worse by reminding someone of their failures or mistakes, rubbing salt in the wound. So if you've made a mistake and a friend comes along and says, I told you shouldn't do that, then you can say, that's it, yeah, rub salt in the wound, or kick me when I'm down. A know-it-all is a very nice term that you could use to describe someone who appears to know everything and refuses to listen to advice from others. Okay, so for example, you could say Greta Thunberg's a bit of a know-it-all because she does seem to speak rather a lot, but with her, I'm sure what she's saying is correct. It's just nobody wants to listen to her. An armchair critic is a person who offers opinions and criticism on something they know little or have no experience in. Oh, yeah, my mother was like that. She knew everything. She had an opinion for everyone, but usually, of course, she wasn't right. At least her opinion was not well thought out. A wet blanket is a person who dampens the fun or diminishes the enthusiasm of others. So, yeah, that's one of these people, who always is talking about one particular thing, and because of that, takes the energy of others. They're a bit of a wet blanket. We use that a lot. Yeah, actually, over the Christmas period, The Passion of Christ came on TV with Mel Gibson. And I'm thinking, oh no, I don't think I'll be watching that. So the movie was a bit of a wet blanket. And that's it. So those are some idioms to describe very annoying people. And speaking of very annoying things and people, the New Year's honors list has just came out, I think. I'm not sure if it's official or if they've just told us who is on it, but basically every year the king introduces a list of people that he thinks should receive honors. Now, this is very controversial because, first of all, when the king gives awards, these awards are called things like the OBE, the Order of the British Empire, or MBE. I can't remember what MBE is. I think it's Member of the British Empire. Anyway, you've probably seen that a lot of actors and politicians, they're called Sir, like Sir Tony Blair, for example, and they have initials after their names, and these all represent the kind of awards that they receive from the king. The reason why these awards are so controversial is because, first of all, the awards given make direct reference to the British Empire. So they're very old. And a lot of people refuse to accept awards because they are related to the empire. And of course, the empire was known or is remembered as having done some really terrible things as well as some good things. So a lot of actors, musicians, and creative people just refuse to accept them when they're offered. The Beatles, for example, I think they refused a couple of times awards from the King. I think Paul McCartney now has received his award. I can't remember what it is. It's OBE or MBE, but there's many people who really are very against the system. There's many people across the country don't accept the awards when they're offered. Now, another reason why these awards are very political is because the king himself doesn't sit there and say, oh, you know what? I really like Leona Lewis, so I'm going to give her an award. That's not how it works. By the way, Leona Lewis is receiving an award this year. She's on the New Year honours list. She receives an OBE, Order of the British Empire. But anyway, as I was saying, the list is actually compiled by the government. It's not really political because anyone can nominate someone else to receive an award. So, for example, if there's someone in my town that does great things, I can fill in a form and give it to the local government, and they then will pass it up to the next level of government, and eventually, if the person has done something amazing or is helping others all the time, they will look at whether this person can receive an award. And then that list goes to the king, and he gives the awards. And many of the people are given the title Sir. For example, Sir Tony Blair, one of our politicians. But it's a little bit creepy when the list comes out, because most of the people on that you probably never have heard of. And the ones like Leona Lewis, well, that's kind of a question mark there because she doesn't live in the UK. She left and went to America. So I guess because she's British and because she's very famous, she gets an award. I mean, her contribution to music is amazing. Of course, everyone loves Leona, but I'm just not sure how they decide that someone like her should get an award. It just says for her contribution to music. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. So the New Year list is out. Aside from Leona Lewis, I don't think there's many people on there that I actually know. Jilly Cooper, she's an author that writes romantic novels. She was honoured. So is Shirley Bassey. But she was already Dame Shirley Bassey anyway. So she must have had an award previously. So she's obviously got another one, I think. And Leona Lewis. Emily Clark has been made an MBE. I don't know who that is, Emily Clark. Maybe you do. Tony Blackburn, well, he's a very famous broadcaster here. There's Shirley Bassey. Oh. And apparently, Rishi Sunak, our Prime Minister, he said, to all of you who are being honoured, you are the pride of this country and an inspiration to us all. Oh, really? Interesting. So there we are. The New Year's honours list is out, and again, it's usually the most annoying people that's on the list, although I do like to see Leona Lewis. I like Leona. Did I tell you that she had that Christmas song, One More Sleep? I think I mentioned that. That was her Christmas song. It was played a lot this year, along with, of course, the usual Mariah Carey song. And that's it from me, so I hope you've enjoyed this. Let's talk again soon. See you all. Bye.